thing's like, where am I supposed to put this thing? It always seems like it's in the way. Whatever. You guys can probably hear me. That's close enough. What is going on? We are live. See, Kevin's here, Fedora, Jeff, Aaron, Chris YZ80. Let's see, Todd checking in from Colorado. Carlos is here. Tennessee Mike just joined us. Macaulay, not Copeland, Johnny is here. Stuart Campbell's here. Yep, thanks for joining, everybody. Appreciate it. Oh, man. I'm drained. Let's see, Nate Dogg's here. Bean Boy's checking in. Jeremy. Gecko Dragon. Good afternoon, guys. Only 3:30 p.m. where I am, so yeah, plenty of time. Califrin checking in from North Wales. Josh Carter's here. Paul's checking in from Dallas. Michael O'Neill's here. I had to hurry up and shoot a video before I even started this. Usually I don't do any video work. Well, I don't know. I've been kind of slacking. Usually I do all my unboxings for the week, essentially, on Monday before I do the live stream. But today I had to record a video on those MTWs. Oh, you can't see my screen. Hold on. There. The MTWs on the back left on that, in that camera view. I had to do the video on those. I still have a few more boxes to open, but I'll get to those another day. Let's see. Celine Driver's here. Number one troll killer. Kevin's here. Who else? Dr. Bob's Nightmare is joining us. Hopefully see you in the Bay Area maybe in May. Show season is kind of kicking off. I'm headed to Charlotte this weekend. We'll talk more on that. Evan's checking in from Queensland, Australia. Michael's here. My buddy, Mr. G. Woody, is here. Evan Kelly's here. I dig the purple. Yeah, this is one of those Dixon flannels. It's the bamboo. If you've never tried one of these, like, I like, layering now. I didn't used to back in the day, but the Dixon I've never tried the non-bamboo one, but the Dixon flannels in the bamboo series are like wicked comfortable. They're still good in the summer and everything. So I'll probably order some more. And they do like limited drops and everything. They do some collaborations even with some bands too. So pretty cool. Fedora Jeff says I'm losing weight. I'm not. It's this flannel makes me look thinner. I think recently I maybe am flirting with a little bit of weight loss just because I've been doing kind of like Celine Driver's coming in here being a number one troll killer, and he's like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to time you. That's funny. Good one, Dane. Oh yeah, Evan, so the Dixon flannel, the Metallica one is really cool. There's some other ones I want to try, but usually those collab ones, I'm hesitant on trying them because they're not in the bamboo series, but I need to try to just check them out anyway. Dane said he's lost 42 pounds. I've seen it in some of your videos for sure. With diet. Yeah, your wrist shrinks, diet, and I know you walk a lot and everything like that. As we get into spring and stuff like that, I'll be doing some more walking and stuff like that too. I may have said this or not, but I was in a vehicle accident literally a week ago. So like my back and my neck is still all messed up from that. There was airbags and all that stuff. I think I said it in the last Monday live too. Nate Duck says he lost 6 pounds from influenza A. Well, it's not the ideal weight loss program, but hey, 6 pounds is 6 pounds, right? So, yeah. Oh, I'm flirting. I'm doing kind of like dirty carnivore. You guys, I'm not big on. I don't subscribe to like diets necessarily. Basically, just remain in a caloric deficit. So, and I can do that easier when I'm eating just carnivore. So, and I feel better usually. So, hold on, my son just texted me. I'm reading it. When all fluids have been serviced. Most people didn't watch my Sunday drive video, but I loaned my 4Runner to my son because he sold his Focus ST. So he is hopefully going to take his time in figuring out what he wants to purchase for his next vehicle, and him borrowing my 4Runner hopefully will give him that. Plus, I think he wants to, try the 4Runner. Maybe he likes one. We'll see. Dr. Bob says, I don't get on the scale when my watches get tighter. Yeah, you just I don't need to know what the actual number is. I just need to cut back so the watch is. You know what? I gotta answer my son, but Dr. Bob, you actually kind of bring up a solid point because I do the same thing. You can do it with your clothes, your belt, or whatever like that. But a real quick indicator, I think, for me and a lot of you guys is your watch. So if you're wearing a watch on the regular and it's starting to get a little snug, yeah, maybe put down the cheesy poofs or something, like dial it back a little bit on the eating out and doing crazy stuff. So. Okay, Sun says, when all fluids have been serviced. Let's see, I have records, but was very recent. Good to go. Okay, don't stop texting me, boy. I'm live. Rob, you got cheater glasses. Are they? I don't need them all of the time. Like I can read this screen really good. It just comes down to like for my phone, and really I can read the phone. This just sharpens it up a little bit. I can still read it, and I'm on regular font and everything like that. But it's usually like morning and later in the afternoon. But these are. I've been wearing them so much. I think I wore off the. I think they're 1.25s if I remember right. And then they also have like the blue light blocker thing on them for like looking at screens and stuff because I do my work computer is a Panasonic Toughbook and I want to say it's a CF31 or something like that. I forget what number it is, but it's not a very big screen. And a lot of the text that I have to read with my day job and emails and stuff like that is really small. So those come in clutch with that, and also labels on fittings and like the model serial number tags on appliances and stuff. You pretty much got to wear the cheaters. So, but I was using for long time instead of using like a loop or something. I was using these, which are 3 times. You can kind of see how crazy they get. But I can't keep these on. Like these are only for like looking closer at watches. Yeah, Dane, 100%. They're super tough. I mean, that's what most law enforcement and military use. And then a lot of the utility companies like that I work with. Yeah, so they're really good laptops, but yeah, they're small. Let's see your thoughts on. Okay, so Paul's asking your thoughts on the Fear Studio Underdog collab watch. Did I even see that one? I think I did see it. If I'm completely honest with you, Paul, like I did that Studio Underdog, the egg drop, and I thought it was a really cool process and everything, but the watches aren't for me. So like I'm not interested in those watches. I think they're cool and I'd like to be able to see them, but I'm not going to like go out and purchase any more of them. And then the Fears is kind of the same thing. I think that collaboration is a way more affordable way to get into a Fears if you're looking at a Fears. But the Fears is, again, a really cool watch that I'll probably never buy. So, yeah, I'm just not interested in it. And quite frankly, I mean, I'll do my best to get excited at these watch shows, and I typically do get inspired. But I've seen a lot of this stuff before, and there's not really anything crazy coming out that's going to like pull me in or whatever. Long Island John says, my eyes passed the cheater prescription in the 3rd grade. Let's see. Tough books are the G-Shock of the computing world. That is correct. Dr. Bob says Mojito Green. Let's see. New Zen made from submarine metal looks super cool. Evan says, any watch that you were excited about trying on? Not necessarily at the show, but I will tell you this. I've been obsessing. There will be when I get there. I gotta post up Joe and Badger's comment here in a second. But I've been obsessing about Panerai. I got Michael. He's in the chat too. Hi, Mike. I didn't respond to your comment, but I know you're here. So Desire 68 YouTube channel sent in some Seikos and some G-Shocks. Did the sacrifice, had me sell them on a Sunday fun day, and then he bought a Pam 111, which is like iconic. It's not discontinued. It was a limited run. Most of these Panerais are, but it's an older model, and he swooped that up from a guy. I sent the card back with Mike, so I forget the business name, but I'm talking to that guy on the side. So I'm researching Panerai. The problem with Panerai I have, more so than the fact that there's so many reps out there, or fakes, if you will, is the fact that there's so many models. I'm having a difficult time figuring out which one I even really want to like really look at and try, because once I get there, then I think I can then find a good seller and make sure I get it authentic and all that good stuff. Oh, Joe, I wanted to do that. Joe has the fears, which is, I showed you guys this. Let me find it. So there's this, and then this. So, and I posted it. There was a picture of it at the end of my video, but Joe's fears inspired me to pick up this fairer California dial and this watches of espionage strap, which I still haven't found a watch for that yet. But okay, Desire says yeah, Panerai 100%. Let's see. Dane says, I avoided Panerai for a long time. Then I found the Radiamar line without the tumor on the side. Now I have 3. I'm right there with you, Dane. I'm actually starting to lean towards the Radiamar. I'm going to screw this up because I don't want the wire lugs. There's the 1940 case. See, I'm still learning the 1940 case. But then there's a ton of options within that. Also, that kind of run parallel with that has that big thing on the side that you call a wart, but the Due, the DUE, is kind of like the Radiamor, but then they took the side thing with the crown. So I'm open for those, but I'm more leaning towards just the screw down, more normal crown in 42 millimeter. So, oh, Floridian. I got you on this one. Anybody in here know about Hoka shoes? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Walking more in these ancient feet. They have saved my life, Floridian. I don't know if I talked to you directly, but I've talked many times on the channel or in the Discord about I've had a lot of problems with my right foot over this last year with basically uric acid or gout. I got that resolved. Then I have insertional Achilles tendonitis. That's another issue. And then I also had something else. I don't even remember. So this foot like is, bumming me out. So, and I've tried a bunch of different Hokas. Now your foot is going to be different than my foot, clearly, but I use the Clifton 9. I would highly recommend you try the Clifton 9. If you need wide, make sure you get wide. If you don't need wide, you should be fine. But Clifton 9 Hoka wide works for me. And then I use an insert so I have a little more arch support. Definitely check them out. So yeah, Tennessee Mike. So once I figure out which one I like, which I'm kind of leaning towards the PAM 512, or actually if I could find a PAM 574, but then I'm looking at the PAM 619. See what I mean? There's too many of them, and this is just me looking today. Yeah. So yeah, that's the problem. I have on the side been learning more about how to spot the fakes. There are some dead tells. There's definitely some good markers, but I need to see the movement and a couple other things. But even those are getting pretty good. Yeah, Floridian, hit me up on the side if you want. I can get you a link. They're sold out a lot, but get the Clifton 9 wide. And they run pretty true to size. Pretty true to size. Yeah, I don't think you have to go up or down. There you go. See, I think a lot of people will be on board with this too. Like, I know some other people that'll do like Brooks or even Skechers or something like that. But me personally, I don't think you can do better for your money than Hoka's. I've heard those are good too. If you're into the running and stuff like that. But the Hoka's for like just walking and everyday, just because I was running New Balance before, 990s and some other stuff like that. And I thought those were pretty good until I tried the Hoka's. I have no more New Balance. I got rid of all of them. There's serial number on the movement, the way the movement's finished, the way the center post, when you look at it on the top side is a quick indicator. That cap that's on the top of the hour and minute hand, it should be like perfect. If it's anything less than perfect, it's not authentic. Oh, check that out. Paul says, I've sold Hoka for 10 years. The Clifton and the Bondi are actually running shoes, but most people use them for walking. Solid shoe, but I still go with the New Balance 990s. Hoka Brooks. Yeah, I think my wife wears Brooks or whatever. I'm with you on that, Todd. This chassis is not built for running. I have ran in the past and I hated it. I never like got acclimated to it and never cared for it. And yeah, yeah, I will turn and square up with somebody before I'll run. Okay, where are we at? Let's get off shoes. Actually, Floridian, check this out. This is probably behind the scenes that you guys don't want to know, but these are called Hoka recoveries. I wear these in the house. I can't wear like just socks or barefoot in the house. I even wear these are house only, but they're called Hoka recoveries, and they also save my feet. So like I wear that's my house shoe, and they're cheap. These are like $40 or something. Let's see. Any thoughts on the G-Shock MRGB 2100? I like G-Shock. I love the MRGs. I ran through so many different entry level G-Shock. I think the MRGs are going to be for people kind of in the same camp that I am, where you still really like the plastic G-Shocks, whether it's the 2100 or the squares or whatever you pick, but when you start wearing a little more premium watches and stuff, you kind of want your G-Shock to be premium too. So like, yes, I have more affordable ones, but yeah, it's hard to beat the MRG, and it's not justifiable to like 99%. So like the MRGs are for like the very small percentage of absolute, primarily G-Shock fanboys, but yeah, just hardcore watch fans might also like throw their hat in that ring too. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We can probably talk about a bunch of things that's old guys, like where hair is starting to grow in weird spots, and getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. And yeah, we got problems here. We got problems, that's for sure. Let's see. Still love the MRG, even though I just sold mine. Oh, yeah, but you had, and Mike, Michael, you have larger wrists, so like you had that. I think more the traditional, iconic, current, more current MRG, because their MRG goes back a ways too. But that was the big boy MRG. Like I really like my MRG square, but my wrist is not big. It's 7 1/4, but it's not small either. Have you ever seen the Laurier Olympia? Saw it for the first time today. Let's share screen. Let's switch over and start talking watches, shall we? So let's go over here. We're gonna look up the Laurier. So we're gonna look that guy up. Have I done? I don't vividly remember doing a video on that one, Greg. Gecko Dragon, we're gonna address your question here in a second too. Let me finish. I want to look up my video archive to see. Nope, I did the Gemini. I have not done. That's a slick watch. I would like to do a video on it, but Laurier doesn't send me watches. I have to buy them. They won't send me a watch to video. So, and I'm not going to buy it. If one of you guys buy it and you want to send it in for me to video, then sure, I'm good with that. But I'm not going to go out and buy that watch just because, quite frankly, this year I am being very much trying not to buy anything. So how much are they? I bet you it's pretty affordable too. Do we have a price? Oh, it's down here, $8.99. Yeah, $8.99 is pretty solid price. Specs. It's a NE88 Seiko automatic. That's actually a kind of a sleeper movement. You don't see it a lot. 50-meter water resist. They put the domed Hesalite crystal on all their stuff. That's a solid watch for 900 bucks. That would be tough to beat. It's thin, 11.7 millimeter thick. That's crazy thin. That's a really cool watch. That's a good find, Greg. I think you should buy it. In that, I don't know if there's other color combinations, but that color right there is perfect. Oh, Gecko says he has one. So yeah. Okay, hold on a second. Let me go back up to. I want to highlight this one. So because I am going to Charlotte this weekend, and RZE is actually going to be there, so I am excited to see that new release from them. They have some other watches that are coming out too, I think, and I don't know if it's on their website yet. I don't. I don't know if he put it on his website yet. Did he? He didn't. So we might have to go to like. It might be on Instagram or something. But it's a RZ does all titanium, so yes, I'm already a fan. And then it's a really good, well done digital watch. So I will get video on that this weekend, and I will do my best to post it up this weekend. But my hopes for that watch are very high. Oh, Fedora Jen's talking about. Oh, there's only 72 people in the chat, and most of you guys are already in the Discord. But on the Discord channel, we do. Did I bring up Discord? I did. I didn't. We do a theme of the week. Tim, Kansas City Tim, is the one that started it and maintained it for a while. He's taking a little break right now, so we're kind of. Well, I did Torture Week this week, which I'd done before, but I want to read to you what the schedule is, because it's if you want to go through Torture Week, this is the schedule. So today was I don't know if you noticed or not. I'm not wearing a watch, and I didn't wear a watch all day. And there's probably people that are fibbing on the channel, but I didn't wear a watch on either wrist. So today, Monday, was no watch. Okay. And then Tuesday was wear the watch on your other wrist. So, like, I wear my watches on my left wrist. So tomorrow I have to wear the watch on my right wrist. Now I've been wearing religiously my LHD. The reason I like the LHD of a watch this size is because the crown is on the left-hand side on my left wrist. I don't get any crown dig. Now, if I put this watch on my right wrist, I'm going to probably get crown dig on a wrist that I'm not used to getting anything going on. So I might take a break intermittently from this watch. Obviously, I took a break from it today, but I might wear something different tomorrow since it's going to be on my off wrist. Wednesday is wear non-broken in strap. And I will have to say that's probably where I'll wear this strap on something. I'll figure out what to put it on because it's not broken in. It's pretty supple. I don't think it'll break in. It'll break in pretty quick. But trying to wear a non-broken in strap without breaking it in, I hate that more than anything. I absolutely hate that because the way it just fits on your wrist. Oh yeah, Doug. Yeah, like I said, I didn't wear it today, and then I'm not going to wear it tomorrow. But so I'm taking a little break from it, but we'll get back to it. Tim did this when he is away. Oh no, this I picked this. Tim didn't do this. Don't put this on Tim. 100%. Torture Week was something I did. I did this week under Tim's leadership of it last year. And then now that Tim's taken a break, I was like, you know what? Why don't we lead off with Torture Week? So, okay. So that Wednesday's non-broken in strap. Thursday is dial down. So you got to wear it like, so it's on the bottom of your, well, I'm not wearing the watch, but I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by on the bottom of your wrist. So actually, Watches of Espionage YouTube channel just did a video on this. So like wearing the watch like this. So like there's no way I could do it with a Tudor. I have to do it with a smaller watch. I do remember doing that last year when I did the dial at the bottom of my wrist. I did wear it upside down. I have a bunch of watches. I'll just wear something else. I could wear the ZRC. The ZRC doesn't matter. The crown comes out the 6 o'clock. Fridays, reverse your strap. That's not a big deal. So instead of, the buckle part at the 12 o'clock and the long side at the 6 o'clock, just flip them around, which I don't think MM10's here, but MM10 already does that. I know James Duffy does that, and actually so does Joe and the Badger. He already does that anyway. And a lot of these, when you get a watch from, I don't have it here, but when you get a watch from Japan, typically they orientate the straps in that way anyway. So that's not going to be difficult for a lot of people. Saturday, okay, you made it through torture week. Saturday is relax, wear an orange dial. Most of us have orange dial watches, just wear an orange dial. And then Sunday is cool, you made it through torture week completely. Just wear your favorite watch. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'm assuming you already do that anyway, but let's see. Paul says, as I remember, it was hip to wear the watch under your wrist. I could see doing it with like a G-Shock Square or something, like an F91 actually would probably be pretty cool. Something like that. So no, this is different. This would be because it's torture. You still got to wear your watch, except for today. What prize do you win? There's no prize. It's just something we do in the Discord group. You can participate or don't participate. There's no prize. It's just, sometimes you have a bunch of watches and it gets a little stagnant and you don't know what to wear. So like usually these aren't torture weeks. Usually these are like, wear a chronograph and wear this or a red dial watch or something like that, and they're tied to a theme essentially. So satisfaction. Okay. Let's see. Sammy says, could you do a segment showcasing your favorite straps in the collection? I certainly could do that. And I'm still kind of acquiring some, but I'll tell you right now, my buddy Tennessee Mike, his YouTube channel, he's been getting a lot of different straps in, and I'd like to see him continue on that path. I like have joking with him. I'm like, dude, there's already a bunch of watch YouTube channels out there, and I like to see his perspective on watches, but it'd be really cool if somebody just focused on straps. Like nobody's really done that and build an archive of videos like I have with watches, but do it with just straps because there are so many different strap options, whether it's from like larger producers and definitely from craftsmen out there. So like this watch here, my Farer is actually on a Aaron bespoke beaver tail strap, and I would like to order some more straps from him. I'm going to reach out to him. I want to get a Stingray strap and some other things. Fedora Jet says the Boulang and Sons are great. I have that as well. I've worn that on my Tudor. I've gotten some straps from. I like to experiment with them. It's just, and for 2025, I probably will purchase more straps just because it's like putting different wheels on your car or whatever, different shoes to your outfit. You can kind of change the look of your watch without having to buy a new watch. But some of these straps are a couple $100. So yeah, there's a way bigger viewership out there for sure for smartwatches and their straps. So, but I would definitely like to see some more options in the watch community because it's all spread out. Like you got all these watch channels and they'll sprinkle in strap videos, but the problem with strap videos, at least for me, they don't really do that great in views. But if I did like a collective one maybe and showed like my favorites, maybe that one would do better. Not that I make videos for views. Clearly, you see some of the videos that I post. So. Let's see. What a couple of watches. What does that say? What a couple of watches on the table. There's watches on the table. I don't know what you're saying, Paul. There's a couple Grand Seiko. There's an Omega off to the left. Those two in the back are MTW, Oracle GMT. There's a Richard, or no, a Raymond Whale. I don't have a Richard Mille. There's a Breitling Endurance, Mundane ZRC. the new. I have the new Fair and Sweat Vice 3.0, I guess. So it's like the blue one. So pretty cool. Which I'll be getting more. I gotta get the video done on that and post it. But Dr. Bob says he wears a watch while he's sleeping. I know a lot of people wear their watches while you're sleeping. I do not. What are your thoughts on the Victorinox watches? Ask Phantom Knight. They run the range. So like there's some really cool iconic ones like the Inox, and then they even have a titanium version and a carbon version. Those are all really cool. There's some automatics. There's some quartz. There's some pretty cool watches in the Victorinox lineup. Now, on the flip side of that, I think there's some real dogs in the Victorinox lineup. So I think Saltzman's in Rhode Island is an authorized dealer. So if there's a Victorinox watch that you want to see, chime in or send me an Instagram message or something. I don't know. Try to get a hold of me, Phantom, and I can try to get one in from them if they have it. Anyone else? What is this? Evan says, anyone else's children expect a nice for their age watch? I'm not sure exactly what you're saying or asking, Evan, but I think what you're saying is, and maybe we could figure that out. But again, that's going to depend on a lot of things. But yeah, like say for like if you're 10 years old, then yeah, you just get a Casio. Like I don't even think you get an automatic. But if you're in your teens and you're a little more responsible potentially, which is I know rare, but is possible for sure. Then yeah, you could take it up a little bit. Maybe get into some Seiko, maybe in some entry Swiss or something like that. Still could be quartz even. Depending on a lot of things, though. Ken Spears checking in from Pittsburgh. Thanks for joining. I mean, if the shoe fits, absolutely. I guarantee there's 12-year-old and even younger kids out there that are rocking some luxury watches. Maybe not Rolex. I mean, you say Rolex as in if it's like, that's high end or whatever. But there's probably some 12-year-olds out there that are running like some Paddocks and stuff, you know what I mean? So like my colleagues, let's see, Fedora John says my colleague's 9-year-old son saved up the summer money and bought a khaki fit. I remember you saying that actually, John. I remember you saying that. That's super cool. That makes more sense in my opinion. Ginger Down Under says modern kids will be smartwatch generation. My son still wears his Apple Watch. My daughter, heck, I bought her a new Apple Watch for Christmas. She wears that primarily. And my son has some watches. If he knows he's going to meet up with me, he'll wear one of my random Rob watches, or I don't know if he wears the Monster. I built him the Blackula or whatever I call it, the full black cased Dracula type one. So let's see. Trying to read the comments. They're kind of moving a little bit faster now. When I was young, I had an Invicta Lufa Frank Mueller homage, says Scott. That's pretty cool. That's actually really cool. Dane says, gave my older daughter a Michelle watch I found shopping at a mall in Boston, interchangeable straps. She loves it. And I've changed battery on a couple of those and I've taken them apart. They're actually pretty well-made watches, believe it or not. So I wouldn't be too mad. There's some brands I've had. I'll tell you this, the Michelle watch was probably made in the same place that Shinolas are made because I changed the battery in the Shinola and the Michelle at the same time, and they seemed about on par with each other as far as their construction. Oh, Sammy, 100%. I've noticed that too. Maybe not younger kids so much as I watch a lot of car content on YouTube, and I don't know that these guys are necessarily watch guys, but I've seen a lot of like variety of the size of the channel from large to small. What's that? There's one channel that's they've quite expanded, and I've seen the kid wear the moon swatch a lot. I've seen a lot of these guys wearing moon swatches, and they wear them on the strap that the moon swatch comes on, which I don't know if you've tried one of those. They are terrible. They suck. So it's funny. They just get them and strap them on and wear them. So I guess whatever. Paul says Timex was his first one back in the 60s and then hasn't stopped since. And there's still some good Timex, though. Ken says his son is in college and he wears a Citizen, probably Eco quartz that he's had for the last 6 or 7 years. That's a solid choice. And it's probably nice enough that, it works in all environments. Let's see. Moonswatch. Tedward wears one a lot. So Tedward, oh no, it's not Tedward. Topher is the one I'm thinking of. He actually has a bunch of really cool watches, and I've seen him wear a Moonswatch too. But he has a real moon watch and a bunch of other watches. Some of these car guys I watch are actually watch nerds too. So, any reviews on the Citizen Zuno Chrono Quartz? I haven't even seen that watch. Mentioning Victorinox, I like Bull of a Surveyor and the Precisionist plus Timex Marlin. What are your thoughts, guys? That's a good lineup. Those are all good watches from those brands. But I don't know. You didn't really mention a model from the. Yes, TFL. Thank you, Brando. 100%. The son wears a. Yeah, I've seen him wear the Blanc Pump, but I've seen him wear the Moonswatch as well. And he does most of the videoing. I don't see his dad, or maybe they're departmentalized because they do multiple channels now. But yeah, I've seen him wear those. So, he's got to be a bit of a watch guy. It's just those are so you can buy them online, or if you're traveling, they're just so easy, simple to like buy. Yeah, TFL, which they were primarily just like a one single channel, and then they diversified into doing a bunch of stuff. Oh, that's cool. Jeff says his son bought a Seiko Sarb 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know what model exactly, but could be an Alpinist. I don't know which one, if you want to chime in. So, so what's up with the Lessermore YZ80? It's in the title of the. I asked it. It's funny. We do these live streams, and I usually put a little title up there, and then we never even talk about it anyway. So, what stimulated me asking you that is I've been wearing, maybe you guys know, maybe you don't know, I've been wearing the Tudor LHD Pelly since January 8th. I picked it up from a Discord member, Colby. And if you're interested, you can message me in picking up. He does Omega and Tudor and a bunch of different brands, but it's newer, used, but like, I guess you can call it gray market. He does really good deals. But I picked it up there. I paid less than retail. Let's just say that. I got a good deal on it. And I've been wearing it since January 8th, and I intend to continue to wear it for quite a while. So it has me thinking, like, I bought this Ferrer when I was out in California, and I have not worn it. I'm looking forward to wearing it. And same thing with the ZRC. I haven't worn that yet either. And I have a bunch of other watches, and I'm thinking this little experiment is like got me messed up in the mind, thinking that maybe I should consolidate the collection even more, which I have a bunch of watches that collectively, yes, it's worth a decent amount of money, but on an individual basis, it's really not a lot. But if I were to shrink it, if we continue to shrink it, and it would be difficult to do because some of the pieces I just don't really want to sell, but I could. Obviously, I can do whatever I want. They're mine. But I could reduce it down and then say like pick up a Panerai or something like that. Or Evan says Tudor, the Rolex you're not afraid to wear. There's some truth to that for sure. Although when I had the Rolexes, I wore them. I didn't care. But even more so, honestly, I'll say at least with the Tudor Pelly, from my experience, and there's a bunch of Tudor that meet this criteria, I like them more than the Rolex. I've tried on Rolex again more recently, and I was very meh. Like I found no connection to it whatsoever. So Long Island John says he struggles with less is more all the time. And I don't know that my definition of less is more would mean the same as say somebody else's, because I would still buy watches, but I would start to do that in the lower tiered, the 500 to say $1,500 range. I'd probably flip those a little more frequently. But I would want a pretty solid stable of say like I have the LHD, I have the Doxa, I have the ZRC if it sticks around, we'll see. And then I got a pretty solid lineup of the Seikos. Sammy says, 6 core collection. Well, I'm already past that because I already have more than 6 that I would consider core, like that they're not going to sell. The core collection for me is probably more like 20. So when I say less is more, say roughly I have like 50, and I would maybe like try to bring that 50 down to 20, um, and and then maybe have like a little bit higher, like a tiered section, like a little bit more expensive 10 watch collection, and then a less expensive 10 watch sub collection underneath that, if that makes sense. I don't want. I'm not saying I'll have that kind of structure. I'm just saying I have roughly 50 watches, and I probably only wear like 10 or 12 of them. I don't wear them all. So, let's see, let's see, Chris says, I'm only wearing 3 of my 12 watches on a regular basis. Maybe hint that less is more. Um, yeah, so you posted up a picture not that long ago of those 3 watches that I think you're talking about. So, um, yeah, and we all struggle with this. I know we all struggle with this, except for Dane. Dane just has all the watches, but um, it's also potentially more of a refresh too. Just have a solid plan and stick to it. Yeah, I agree. But right now, I'm enjoying learning. So, like, I'm educating myself on Panerai. I'm educating myself on a few other fronts as well. But I really think it's healthy for me right now. It's not even delayed gratification. It's a commitment to not purchase. So it's a commitment to wear the Tudor Pelly longer, and it's a commitment to not purchase. So my goal still for 2025. This is probably not realistic, but could you imagine if I didn't buy a watch for the rest of this year? Probably not realistic. I realize that, but I'm thinking I might try to pull it off. So, and if I do, I don't know what that means. That means absolutely nothing. Because the reality is, if I feel like the timing's right and I've learned enough and say I want to pick up a Panerai, then I'll pick up a Panerai. It's not a problem. It shouldn't be on a timeline necessarily, even though most people operate that way. I just don't. Let's see. Ginger says another take on less is more theme might be related to price. A watch of a lower value gives more pleasure because it bats above its weight. I do recognize that with certain watches. For example, I picked up that Fair instead of a Fears. It has the California dot. I actually like the way that looks more. I think it's more suited for me. I really like the Fears for Joe and the Badger, but the Fair works better for me. So, uh, yeah. Evan says he's going to pick up a Misa Singer this year. There are some really cool options for that, and I've done some videos with them, and I get access for those watches from Exquisite Timepieces down in Naples, Florida. So, Evan, if there's one you want me to get into video, let me know and I'll see if they have it. Let's see, trying to read some more. Getting better at buying the right watch the first time. Yeah, that's tough. I struggle with awesome watches I have that don't wear Longines 39. Yeah, speaking of Longines, I have that Longines Big Eye and I still haven't worn that a ton. Sustainable Me sent me 1,000. I'm rich. I don't know what denominator. Is that yen? I don't know what that is. Any goal is realistic if you want it to be. We believe in you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Somebody believes in me because even I don't believe that I'll be able to. I spend money. Like even in my relationship, my wife hoards money and I spend it. So it's good that she hoards it, squirrels it away. And I know it's there. I know she's doing it, but I don't really look at the accounts and stuff like that. So the fact that I know that's happening and it's not easily accessible to me is probably a healthy thing. PM says, with 2 very young kids, I have to save up longer, which makes me appreciate the purchase. Yeah, it's delayed gratification, but in your case, it's forced. Let's see. Desire says, hardest part would be to make it to Christmas and not feel like you need to reward. See, I don't ever really feel like I need to reward myself. I definitely take care of myself, But I don't really feel like I have to. I don't worry about it too much. I'm getting the Zuno Shellback version 2. Can't decide on the car. I like the white one. I know the black one's safe, but I like the white now. Yeah, Meistersinger tanks big time on the resale, so maybe pick up a used one. But I don't see a whole lot of used ones for sale either. So, and also Tennessee Mike, that brings up a good. It makes me think. Just like I have a car that I'm end user on, I'm never going to sell it. Well, if you know you're gonna pick up a Meistersinger, just like I know that I good probability I'm gonna pick up a Panerai at some point, and I'm looking at price and stuff like that. But a lot of the models that I'm drawn to are I have to buy used anyway. But if you're end user on an item, then the price really shouldn't matter as much. I know it still does. I get it, but it should matter a little bit less. I think everybody needs to recognize that. Most of us are serial flippers, but if you know you're buying a watch, there's a lot of people that are in the chat or in the Discord group that don't sell watches. Floridian, I don't know. I'm sure he has sold a watch, but he doesn't sell watches. So when he buys a watch, he probably tries to get a good deal on it and stuff like that. But if he overpays a little bit, it doesn't matter because he's not selling it. So, and then the longer you own it, the more spread out that cost was. Joe says, I'm actually getting something new after not trying. Things happened. Yeah, there you go. Trying to read some more comments. I know I'm missing some, guys. I'm sorry. So, Fedora Jet says he holds on to his watches way too long. I have separation anxiety. And Floridian has confirmed he's never sold one. And actually, Dane doesn't sell very much either. But occasionally, I know Dane has, or he's traded or sold. And, there was a period of time, but it was extenuating circumstances that he did sell some watches. They just didn't meet his likes. So Evan says you never sell or flip. So then it doesn't matter. You can pick up a Meistersinger. You can try to negotiate the best deal possible, which you probably get a decent deal from Exquisite if you want to, work with me on that. I can try to help you out with that. And then if you know you got the right one and you're not going to sell it, then it just doesn't matter. Man, there's a bunch of you guys that have Tom Hudson watches. I've never sold any watches yet. I plan to do some giveaways in the future. So that's cool. If you, I've done that in the past, but doing giveaways suck. Ask me about it. You can message me separately if you want. I hate doing giveaways. I like doing giveaways. I just hate the process of it. Let's see here. Retro Wild says it. That's a lie. Doug is OG. Back in the day, Doug used to send me watches on the regular to sell, and he's actually just between Doug and I don't want to tell the rest of you guys, but Doug did just ask me to look at 3 watches to sell, and I told him right now sucks for selling too, and you got to take a big hit. So, Michael, I wanted to mention something to you today because I was watching some research videos on Panerai, and most people know this, but the original Panerais when they came out, they were actually developed for was it I'm going to screw this up, the Italian Navy frogmen or something like that. So technically, you could trade frogmen for another frog, which would be a Panerai. Technically, those are also frog watches. Just saying. Loopholes exist for us to exploit them. Nathan says, I would sell more if it was easy. That's why people send me watches, because it makes it easy for them. You still have to suck it up and take the hit. Stuart says, I was happy with one watch, and then y'all suckered me into buying a bunch of watches. So, Sammy says, I have a habit of removing watches from the collection thinking I'm going to sell them, and then they just sit in a box for years. I have a couple other buddies that have done the same thing. That's actually an interesting experiment, potentially. Maybe I should do that. Tuck them away, forget that you have them because they're not readily available, and maybe you have a nice little surprise later and be like, oh, shoot, I forgot I even own that. That's really cool. And then it's kind of like new again. That would be pretty cool. Evan says, Tourbillon would be expensive to service, ? I would hate to get that bill. I'm guessing it's a little more complicated, but also most of the Tourbillon watches that I've looked at, I think we overcomplicate it, and I'm sure the watchmakers charge for it, or maybe I'm way out of line thinking that it is actually really difficult. But most of them, they're very elegant, kind of more of a simple construction. And maybe, like I said, maybe I'm way out of line saying that. So, the Burn Notice International Spy, Michael Weston checking in. Still burn, still love watches. What's up, Rob? Flippers is pretty dang good for selling, pretty dang good for selling, and pretty dang good for buying too. Price it right and it's gone. That's right. I did that with one watch. Took the box out of storage, put the watch in it. It's going to get gone, but waiting until March. So yeah, but you're doing it with the intention of moving it next month. Oh, okay. Well, Dane would know. Dane has had to service a tourbillon, so they are expensive. But I wonder if are they really expensive or are they being exploited? Any plans for a Breitling? You know what? There isn't a Breitling that is really drawing me in right now. There are a few watches. The Omega X33, the current model, just the black one. That one's been very interesting to me. Anti Digi, Lyre Lug, titanium, kind of just checking boxes. I really do like that one. Then I've been going down that Panerai rabbit hole, but I haven't went down a rabbit hole with Breitling. Quite frankly, if Breitling would come out with their, I'm not a movement snob, but with Breitling, I feel like it's been long enough. I don't have a problem with Salida SW 300s, 200s, COSC spec, ETAs, all that stuff, whatever they're using. But Breitling's big enough they should be able to invest in their own in-house three-handed caliber. Should they not? I wish they would. I got to read this. Not talking about your channel, but I realize a lot of watch reviews are commercials when the same watch appears on multiple channels around the same time. Well, yeah, you might view it that way, but what happens is with a micro brand or just a new model in general, but typically at my level, it's usually just a micro brand. And then there's a bunch of other channels that also do the micro brands. They launch the watch. So they have a release date and a launch date. What I try to do is anymore, I feel like I used to try to be the first one, but honestly, I would rather wait until after the launch and then drop the video. Let everybody else have their video, but yeah, it's going to be roughly in the same timeline. I get that. So, and I'm not a huge fan of that either, but I do know that some people do like having that different perspectives. Even like when I'm hunting a watch, whether it's an older discontinued watch or a new watch, current run or whatever like that, I'll watch if there's 10, 15, 20 videos on that watch, I'll watch all of them. I watch them with no sound, no talking, all the talking, low light, bad video, good video, whatever. I'll watch all of them. Celine Driver. Please like, share, and subscribe. That's Dane hit me with that because I was watching his X33 video because he's got is that like a regatta one or something? I can't remember. It's a little bit different variant, has a red minute hand. I was watching his video because I was researching the X33. So I hit Dane up and he still has it. He likes it. So that's pretty cool. And as we're like texting back and forth, Dane drops hey, don't forget to like and share. I'm like, well, I like the video, but I never share videos. But yeah, if you're looking at X33s, Dane's got a really good video on it. And he's got like kind of a special edition one, which is pretty cool too. Actually, Dane, your video is like one of the better ones as far as going into like just the simple process of functions. I don't even do that. When I have a watch that has multiple functions, I'm just like, man, don't come to my video for the functions. I'm not covering that. Evan says, are people still funny over the Powermatic 80 silicone? Any thoughts a few years on? I think it's a solid movement. It better be because there's probably millions of them out there. But yeah, I know they're a little unique in the way they're regulated and stuff. I haven't talked to any watchmakers, directly that have had to service them to I don't know how it's done, but I think I watched a video on it, and it's probably not as bad. At least my take on what it was, that it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So it's a solid movement. I wouldn't be afraid to enter into an ownership with one, thinking that you're going to own it long term, like you said you do. I don't think you really are going to have too many issues later on down the road. I think it should be fine. John Page joining in for the last. Let me guess, John. When your buddy tells you like he's moving or something like that, you'll show up, like you'll hang out at the end of the block and wait for them to all the work to be done. Now that I've done all the heavy lifting, you're just kind of gonna like glide right in and be like, "Hey, what's up, guys? I was here." Take a selfie and make it look like you were there, and then bounce. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you, John. It's good to have you here. Jeff says he's had a Powermatic 80 for years now, and it's been very consistent. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Besides the MRG, what's your favorite G-Shock? Probably the Bling Master. It's still going to be a square, but it's the gold Bling Master one I have, which I have not worn that one in a long time. And then just the 5610. Like, it's all squares. Meetings that we're at, John, we're having a meeting. Like, I guarantee you guys that are used to doing meetings and all that stuff like that, there's probably some overlap with some of those meetings. I bet you guys have done, for a short period of time anyway, multiple meetings at once, which is bonkers. And I don't know how people can do that in a company. It's silly, but like we're having a meeting, John. Like, you're late to the meeting. That's fine. You're here now, but we'll let it slide. Dane says, yeah, John's here for the pizza after the moving van is packed. I was offered pizza. Pizza is my kryptonite, and I was offered pizza today, and I turned it down. All I had to do, like, somebody delivered it to my work for a meeting that was happening in the conference room, and I took it to them, and they were like, "Oh, thanks, cool." And then they're like, "You want a piece?" And I'm like, "Nope, I'm good." And so making better choices, one choice at a time. It did smell good though. Jason from Design says meetings are overrated. I've always said that, but I'm a grunt. I'm a working man. So like I always thought meetings and memos make no money. So like, what's the point? Paul says you're going to pick out more quartz watches this year. I think it's a good year to do that. I've already done that vintage Casio. Of course, I love my G-Shocks. And then I'm definitely interested in that new RZE digital coming out. I'm not going to buy it though. So we just got to see if one just lands on my channel. We'll see if RZE is like, you know what, Rob, I really want you to have this. Then I didn't buy it technically. Floridian says you get promoted to union position. Well, I am a union member. I've been a union steward in the past. The executive board stuff is going to happen this summer, and I don't want to talk too much on it. We'll see how it plays out, but probably going to throw my hat in the ring for one of those positions, and then secretly hope I don't get it because it's going to require more time, and I don't really have more time. But I think the union kind of needs me unless somebody else better steps up, and I just don't know who that would be. There's a lot to look at, but older and current. Dane says, thank you for the good deal on the Venezianico Titanio. You're very welcome. Dropped it off at the UP because I had to drive into the main town closest to me. I dropped your box off. Who else bought a watch off me? Somebody else bought a watch off me too. And then I sent out Desire 68's Panerai next day air. So that's going to be to where he asked me to send it. It should be there tomorrow. So I'm pretty excited about that. Fedora Jet is saying, loom it up. Chris says it's time for bed. It's not time for bed. What should I put over here? Should I put that over here? We got to blast these too. We got a no date. Oh, there's no loom on those G-Shocks. The loom on the G-Shocks is going to be non-existent. So there's going to be some dark spots there. But there's still some cool loom there because we have the MTWs in the back. Of course, the Omega off to the left. The Fair actually does pretty cool. It has dual colored loom. The Raymond Whale, and of course the full loomed dial ZRC is pretty cool. See, John Page has got more meetings. How do you have more meetings? You're all the way on the West Coast. Are you having meetings with like maybe you're Chinese in China? I guess it's 9:30 a.m. Maybe you're doing that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one.